Hello, everyone. Well, I've already said hello to you in the chat. You've already been here talking to me, but hello to people watching this afterwards. It's December 22nd in the evening. It's time to read a story. Because we used to read stories more often, and I like doing it, and I think people enjoyed listening to it, or at least the people who were here live. Never really knew how well these things went watching them after the fact, but I think that they're a lot of fun to be here live for. And what we're reading here tonight is Goofbumps, number 6, Welcome to Sand Hands. It's not actually number 6. It's actually the only one. This is a version of Goosebumps made by Botnik Studios, who are known for their predictive keyboard. So they made a Goosebumps-style choose-your-own-adventure. Well, Goosebumps is not choose-your-own-adventure. They made a horror-style story in the style of Goosebumps, and they made a choose-your-own-adventure story using the predictive keyboard. So that's what this is. We choose the scene, and we choose from over 20 different scary endings. And I hope you're very frightened, because Christmas is the most frightening time of the year. Christmas is when the year is coming to an end. You get to reflect back on your failures, and you think, man, I could have done that year a whole lot better, and the position I'm in right now is my own fault because of all the bad decisions I made during the year. Christmas is the time of year where it forces you to look back on that, and you think, well, maybe in the next year, maybe I'll make New Year's resolutions and things will go better, and you know you're just lying to yourself. But little lies like that feel good. And you get to, think about other things other than your life by reading things like Botnik Give Yourself Goofbumps. So, even though this technically is not about Christmas or the holidays, thematically, it's very related to the end of the year. Let's start reading. Now it tells us to beware, do not read this book from beginning to end. Frogs. Why does it have to be frogs? You're psyched for some school time, but your cousin made you miss the bus. Now you'll be late for sports. No problem, she says. You can just do walking through zombie forest. Do you dare beat feet through scary woods? If you do, you might get a magic sword, or even a soda can from a ghostly horse. But how will you hold either when your hands are made of sand? Maybe you should stay home where the toys are. But be careful, you could wake up one day and find yourself married with vampires. This scary adventure is all about you. You decide what will happen, and how terrifying the scares will be. Start on page 1, then follow the instructions at the bottom of each page. You make the choices. If you choose well, you might strike a mummy in the face, but if you make the wrong choice, beware. So, let's take a deep breath, cross our fingers, and turn to page 1 to give ourselves goosebumps. I don't think it's okay that we have to eat yogurt every day, your cousin complains. You keep your mouth shut. You like yogurt. It's Thursday morning, and you and your cousin Zoe are choking down breakfast before classroom. Zoe's been staying with you ever since your aunt was stabbed by that man, and she's way, way cool. She's just as tall as you are, and she has the most amazing scent you've ever seen. Sometimes you bump into her on purpose. Eat the fruit at the bottom before you're covered in late, your mom says as she hurries down the stairs. You're not too young to get the hook, you know? You've never seen the hook, but you know that's a threat. Come on, Aunt Mom, Zoe whines. Can't we have some fun foods instead? Shh, you shush her. Your mom scoops some cheese sauce into her purse and promises to be home in time for dinner. Orange peels and schmear. What's schmear, you wonder? But she's already out the door. I'm not going to eat the rest of this, Zoe tells you once your mom's at a ear distance. Oh no. We gotta keep it together on page 2. Haha, very joke, you reply. Sometimes Zoe's sense of humor isn't so cool. Chomp down or we won't be at school. School is so cool, you think? You can barely believe you get to go somewhere so cool. Miss Feeble is your favorite teach lady because she cries like a wimp every single day. Your school books are really heavy, like bricks made of facts. And you have a friend, Brad. You and Brad are just alike. He's exactly the same height as you, and he loves your cousin's feet. You met him last summer at a lip-smacking contest. Brad won, of course, but you got a couple of good smacks in, too. He has a sarcastic remark for everything, but unlike Zoe, he never goes too far. I'm the king of not kidding, Zoe insists. Let's make garlic bread or peanut butter pancakes. You can't believe it. She's serious. You have to admit, it feels like a pancakes kind of day. But the batter crate is empty. You'd have no choice but to call Pancakes Rocky, who used to be your stepdad. There just isn't plenty of time. We can't, you tell her. Sal the bus driver hates me, and he'll be here in the next few... Wait, is that the sound of rubber wheels in yellow? Well, we're running out of time in the morning, it seems. The bus apparently is here. It's the school bus, all right, and it is definitely arrived. The doors screech open, and Sal smiles when he notices you're not there. Looks like that cowboy of nerds will be lassoing his own way to school, he guffaws. You stifle a laugh. That's really funny. Sal disappears into the darkness, and the bus stop fades away. This isn't good luck for sure. You have the biggest basketball game of your life today. You're playing against the splintery kids from Woodpanel Lake, and Brad will be counting on you and your famous sandpaper pass to do a dunk. Brad is your favorite player. I'm not sure what to do, you cry. You're pathetic. Don't be wet, Zoe tells you. We can just go to school on foot. That will take us forever. Not if we take the shortcut, she smiles. Gulp. Zoe's right. If you take the bridge over Zombie Forest, you'll reach your school on time, but the putrid smell of decaying flesh is just too much to think about right now. On the other hand, if you decide to stay put, you'll miss some great sports, and your mom might crumble your face. What are you going to do? Well, chat, time for you to make your first vote. Type number 1 to take the bridge. Type number 2 to stay at home. Those are your choices, and nothing else. It has to be either 1 or 2. Do you want to take the bridge to go to the zombie forest? Do you just stay at home with number 2? Well, it is a struggle between 1 and 2, and some people know about the secret pizza option. And I hope that you have a nice slice of pizza as you're joining me tonight for this. But it does seem like number 1 is indeed going to win. Most people are saying that we are going to take the bridge. So that is what we're going to do as we go to page 52. We'll take the long brown way to school, you stammer. Brad will be disappointed if I don't. Let's go, Zoe replies. The two of you head towards the creepy corpse bridge. Zoe's outfit is right on, and you think that you're brave. You pass an old dog with a microphone. What could it have to say that needs to be louder, you wonder? Hold on, I think that some people would like the music volume to be turned down just a little bit. There we go. What could the dog say that needs to be louder? Wait, what could it say at all? You turn back towards it in horror as it begins to announce its top 400 picks for the worst things about you. Number 1, you're ugly, the dog begins. Number 2, your skin is gross. Would a dog sound like that? It's hard to imagine what a dog would sound like if it actually could talk. Number 3, you're a real gem of a wimp. I'm not sure about this, you tell Zoe. I think screams are approaching. Don't worry, Zoe says. We will never die. Number 4, the dog continues. You always lose your balance. Number 5, you're about to get rid of your life. Gulp? Well, sounds like things are going pretty badly. The dog is making a prophecy, a prediction, that we might lose our lives. The only thing to do is go to page 135. You and Zoe reach the rickety wooden bridge that spans Zombie Forest. Above it a sign reads, "This way," to your horror. You feel a stinging sensation in your balls. By the way, you're a guy in this. What are you waiting for? Zoe teases, flipping her baseball cap around backwards. Are you afraid of here? I'm not afraid of anything, you lie. I'm just hungry. There's an apple tree on the bridge. Zoe laughs firmly. Old White Teeth is right. You can squint at the tree from here. Today is very unlucky. You feel lightheaded as you start across the bridge. The creaking of the planks makes your heart shake. Maybe I am hungry, you think as Zoe playfully shoves you forward. Come on, scaredy belly. Eat your weight in fruit. Eventually, you're standing next to the tree. You grab a handful of apple and turn it up to your face. Then, just when you're about to bite in, you hear the king of rodents whisper in your ear. What was that sound? You ask bravely, even though you don't want to be poisoned. Eats it up, you snag stick, Zoe replies. You're hungry. But are you that hungry? Chat. Are you actually that hungry? If yes, type number 1. If no, type number 2. I don't know where the king of rodents is, but apparently there might be some sort of danger from eating this apple. It's hard to say. It does seem like number 1 is probably going to win out. It seems like perhaps the chat really is that hungry. Okay. We'll stop the vote then. And we will turn to page 18. You do what you're told and devour the apple, but good. Seeds are fruit bones, you say sadly as you throw away the core. You and Zoe start to continue walking when a big wind blows up from below. The bridge starts swaying wildly, and the zombie smell makes you want to puke. Hold on, Zoe says sarcastically. I am, you joke. It's a very good joke. You're gripping the ropes tightly, but they feel strange. The ropes don't really feel like rope. It's like the ropes are made of gravel, only smaller. The ropes feel like sand. What is the deal with these ropes, you wonder? Then you look down. You realize your hands are now made out of sand. Yes, you've got sand hands, and there's no going back. Well, chat, we have reached the title of the book. It said, Welcome to Sand Hands. Now, we do have the sand hands. We have to play it down to our cousin by turning to page 15. What's wrong? Asks Zoe. Are your hands okay? You need to prove to Zoe that your hands aren't made of sand. You take off your backpack and pull out your basketball. I'm so happy with these pink feelers, you yell. Watch them drool. You start your bouncing, and it's not too hard. Sand is actually a lot like skin. Zoe starts cheering. Maybe I shouldn't be scared of all, you think. Then you smell a terrifying smell. A huge gust of wind shakes the bridge like a heart, and you fall over. Oh no! The ball! We do need that ball because of the big game. What would Brad think if we lost that ball? He'd be so disappointed in us. The ball rolls off the swinging bridge and into the forest below. It's not a good thing. You explain what happened to Zoe. She said she knows. The red apple you ate earlier must have been sand magic. Well, duh. That's a way important ball, you tell her. It's very lucky. If I go to school without it, Brad will hate me. You run to a payphone and dial the operator in desperation, but the voice on the other end is that of you. You! How may I help you? You ask you. You hang up immediately because you know you won't be able to help because if you could, you wouldn't have needed to call the operator in the first place. I agree, that is sound logic. I would not want help from me either. I wasn't any help, you tell Zoe in a panic. Okay, let's go find it then, she replies. The then? You stutter. But what if zombies? You don't really have a choice. Actually, we do have a choice, chat. It says right here that you can make a choice. We can either search the zombie forest with Zoe by voting 1, or we can be a coward and vote 2. Chat, do you want to search the forest with Zoe, or are you a coward? Both of these are not contradictory things. You could search the forest with Zoe and also be a coward, but it is making us give a choice here. And it does look like most of the chat is going to say that they want to search the zombie forest with Zoe. I don't think that means that the chat is not cowards. It's just their curiosity overrides the cowardice, I think. Let's do it, you say weakly. Yeah. You're terrified, but not scared. It's like being afraid of something heavy. You and Zoe head toward the elevator, and Zoe presses the button with her right thumb. It lets out a spooky ding, and its doors creak open. Maybe it's your imagination, but this elevator seems normal. You glance up at your cousin as the elevator starts moving. You think about having a baby with her, and she asks you to be a doll and wait until you're out of this mess. That's a good idea. Let's wait until later to think about that. Maybe way, way, way later. The elevator stops before you can protest. The door slides open, and you are surrounded by zombies. We got to cover our brains on page 48, chat. You and Zoe scream in unison. Brains? The zombies reply. You punch the elevator buttons, but nothing happens. It must be destroyed. Do something to distract them, Zoe says. No. You're surrounded. There's so many of them. You can't see the forest for the zombies, but you can see a giant skateboard in front of you. It looks like it would be a good idea to ride it. All right, chat, do you want to hop on and do a little jump? Or do you want to convince Zoe to wink at it weakly? They're talking about winking at the skateboard. So either we get on the skateboard and do a little jump, or we convince Zoe to wink at the skateboard weakly. Let's take... looks like number 2 is going to take it. We want Zoe to give a little wink at the skateboard. It seems like that is what is going to win. It seemed pretty safe to say that. So let's stop the vote, and we're going to go to page 67. Oh dear. Wink at the skateboard, you yell at Zoe, but not too hard. Zoe agrees eagerly, but nothing happens, and throwing confetti at it doesn't help. We've got to find more water, you shout, but it's awfully late. Zoe gets sucked into a zombie's mouth, and her brain is bitten clean off. This isn't very fun. I'm out of here, says the skateboard, rolling away completely. It's hopeless, you think. And whatever happened to your ball? You do the only thing you can do, get pulled apart into dead pieces by the zombies. You do it really well. The end. Chat, you got us and Zoe killed by zombies. I mean, what was winking at the skateboard going to do? Get it together, chat. God. We have to start from the beginning now. So let's continue on until we get a choice. All right. So let's do this choice again, chat. Do you want to do what we did last time and take the bridge, or do you want to rethink that and stay at home? So once again, choice 1 or choice 2. Last time we took the bridge, and it eventually ended up with us being killed by zombies. What happens if we just stay at home? Just forget this whole adventure. Yeah, it seems like the chat is saying, when you know that leaving the house is going to result in you being killed by zombies, all of a sudden staying home seems like a really good idea. So we're going to stay at home. You decide to stay put. Bad idea. Your team loses the game by 1 dunk, and Brad blames you. He moves away, and you quit your ball. Without sports, you turn yourself into a drugstore. High school is a blur. You get a job at a diner and marry a mean woman with 2 kids. The kids are vampires. You wake up on a dark piece of cloth, and there's a note from your wife. While she's knocking golf balls towards targets, you're in charge of the little vampire brats. Great, you think. I'll probably die. You go downstairs to see what your vampires are doing. Through the window you glance, and you almost scream. Alright, let's head to page 132 and find out why. You can't believe your face. The vampires are in the backyard throwing around a big glass bottle of garlic. This is the last thing you need. You march outside. Be careful, you yell. What if that bottle was to break? The vampires don't listen. They never listen to you, and it's driving you bonkers. Chat, we have another choice. If we accept that we're a joke to the vampires and always will be, vote 1. Or if we go over there and box their ears, vote 2. We have 2 adopted children. They are vampires. They do not respect us as their father. I mean, it could be a problem because they are vampires and not humans, so... how do you raise vampires? I'm not really sure about this. The chat isn't either because they're pretty split on whether or not we should go over there or not. It's pretty close. Number 1 is in the lead by just... It's tied. Number 2 is in the lead. Now it's tied. The chat is very torn on the subject of child raising. We don't know how we should discipline our vampire children. But it looks like... Yes, it looks like number 1 won by 1 vote. The 2 of you who voted pizza, you could have made a difference here if you chose not to waste your vote. Let that be a lesson for you in real life. Not that this isn't real life, but you know. Okay, so number 1 won out. We accept that we're a joke to them and always will be. There's no use trying with those vampires, so you head back inside. You hear the big one laugh. They don't have names. It's funny, but when your wife first told you she had vampires, you were excited. You always wanted to be a dad. 2 little bloodsuckers you could raise as your own. It sounded great. But that feels like a lifetime ago. The big one's laughing uncontrollably now, laughing at you. You should be used to it at this point, but you can't help it. You think you just might cry. Man, all this because we didn't go to school that one day. It's amazing how small events can lead to big repercussions later in life. We need to distract ourselves from the pain on page 94. You'd swear vampires drink my will to live instead of blood. You joke as you sit down in front of the TV. It's a solid joke. You look through the listings, searching for something to take your mind off those undead bullies. There's nothing good on. You'll have to choose between watching reruns of Toothpaste Ninja or an infomercial for forehead cream. Well, chat, this doesn't seem like as much of a dramatic choice as some of the others, but do we want to watch the episode of Toothpaste Ninja where the Soda Goons steal his toothbrushes, or do we want to find out about removing nasty wrinkles from our old man's skin? Just what are we watching on TV tonight? Not much on, I guess, if these are the options. But it looks like number 1 is going to win. The number 1, the chat is curious about Toothpaste Ninja and where the episode where the Soda Goons steal the toothbrushes. So we're going to stop the vote, and we are going to go with number 1. You're watching the thing you chose to watch, but it's boring, and you're feeling very sleepy. All of a sudden, you're in a maze. Man, I relate to this right now. The maze is full of kids that all look eerily familiar. It's nighttime, but it's also the middle of the day, and rainbows spill forth from the children's mouths as they bicker. Then you realize they are you at each other age, and they are arguing about which one of them sucks the most. Suddenly, they all turn and point at you. You suck the most. You wake in fright. It was just a dream. There's 2 human heads on the TV screen exchanging science sentences, and only one you. But what could that dream have possibly meant, you wonder? That you suck? You start punching your eyes with tears. You do suck, and you know why. Nothing's happened right for you since you missed a day of school. You never should have stayed home. What were you scared of? You should have held your nose and walked. If you could just go back and choose again. Wait, did the TV man say something about time travel? We have to watch helplessly as the TV spews information all over our brain's brand new shoes. An old man wearing a white lab coat is talking strange. Below his face reads the words, Dr. Backpack, time scientist. You run over to the TV and press your ear to the screen. With my new invention, Dr. Backpack says, I can tell people to go through time. And they listen. You can't believe what you're seeing someone say. This guy can just travel through time? I can just push this button, and the person is sent to the future, the time traveler continues. Or the past. The past, you think? That's more like it. You'd love to go there, but do you actually believe what Dr. Backpack is saying? It sounds completely crazy, dog. Chat. Do we refuse to be taken in by some nerd scientist's demented word talk? Or do we not only believe this man, but maybe love him? So, number 1, if you do not believe him. Number 2, if you do believe and love Dr. Backpack. Man, it seems like it's a pretty nearly unanimous decision that the chat is heavily in love, of romantic love, with Dr. Backpack. So we are going to stop the vote here, and we are going to go to page 50. You hate your rotten family so much, you'll believe anything. If the time travel machine is real, you can go back in time. You could go back to school, do a better job of not skipping it, and make a better, softer life. A life free of vampires. That's right, the vampires. You were meant to stare at them today, but you dozed off. You better make sure they haven't gone blood hunting. All right, let's check in on what those vampires are doing, because we've been slacking in our duties. You knock gently on the vampire's bedroom door. Big one, little one, are you in there? You can hear laughing. They're in there. They're in there. Your boot kicks the door open, and there they are. One child is practicing sneaking. The larger one is polishing his teeth. You think you know what they're up to. What in heaven's hands? You sputter with surprise. I hope you're not planning to bite anyone, because if you are, the vampires laugh at you. Grrr. You blow the door shut and stomp downstairs. It's dark out, but going back in time literally cannot wait another minute. Your misery must stop now. That said, the floor is filthy. Chat, got another choice. Do we ask Dr. Backpack to throw us through time? Or do we choose to vacuum instead and put this book down, Mom? Well, we want to travel through time, and it really can't wait. But the floor really needs to be vacuumed. It looks like that the chat is feeling very motherly and is feeling the urge to clean the floor, but we really need to go back in time. Look, if we go back in time, then the floor will never be dirty to begin with. Well, it does seem like the chat does want to go with number 2. The chat wants to vacuum the floor instead. And I am not going to go against what the chat has to say, but it was pretty close. No one even voted pizza this time around. All right, so I guess that's going to be number 2. Let's choose to vacuum. Well, what did we think was going to happen? Like, it said what was going to happen. All right, let's start over again. Well, I hope you're happy, chat, about us cleaning the floor. I hope it was worth it. We have a vote to take. Do we take the bridge, or do we stay at home? So, with one ending, we died. We were killed by zombies. With the other ending, we put the book down because we needed to clean the floor. It looks like that the chat is going to say that we should just take the bridge, because we know that if we don't, that we will regret it. We may also have the option to time travel. But why time travel when we could just do it right now? Let's go to 135. The apple. Chat, remember that we had to eat an apple, and we weren't sure if we wanted to eat it. Do you want to eat it this time, or no? Remember that we hear that the king of rodents is whispering in our ear. And we don't want to be poisoned, but Zoe says that we should eat that apple. Are we really that hungry? It looks like the chat is saying that this time round, we are not that hungry. So we're going to go with otherwise. You decide you're not that hungry. You collapse to the ground and begin cowering like a wormy rat before any of the actual scary things happen. What are you doing? Zoe asks. A reasonable question indeed. I can't get away from a tree fast enough, you mutter, glancing back with the kind of terror only a real coward can exhibit. Your cousin looks disgusted. You begin slithering away, a wimp, a giant exercise in quietly giving up. A voice of the kids who turned out afraid of any trouble at all. The tree shows its fruit with confidence, and you sigh jealously. As well you should. The tree is right. The tree is mighty. And you? You are a big, cowering bag of gelatinous blobs with a small, shaking skeleton in the middle. Put this book down and sob. You are not made for adventures. The end. Chat. I really like the line, a giant exercise in quietly giving up, because I can relate to that saying. That describes a lot of me. So we're just going to restart. We're going to take it in stride. Let's restart the adventure. And give ourselves goosebumps once again. All right, chat. Which one do you want to do? Take the bridge, stay home. Like, both ways have not gone so well for us. Do you want both ways have resulted in game overs, but we know that there must be a path to victory somewhere, and as long as we keep hacking away at it, we will find it. The chat wants to go with number 1, so that is what we will do. We will venture into the forest. So we're going to go with yes on the apple, since we know that going with no results in a game over. Okay. And now our hands are turning to sand. Let's see. Then, yeah, we lose the basketball. Okay. So let's see. We have another choice. Chat. Do we vote to search the zombie forest with Zoe, or do we be a coward? Now, it doesn't say what we do if we're a coward. It just says, I guess we won't explore the forest. Doesn't say what we will be doing, just that we wouldn't be exploring the forest. The chat doesn't want to risk not exploring the forest. The chat wants to not be a coward and go into zombie forest with Zoe, and yeah, that's probably what we should do. Okay, the elevator and then zombies. Okay, so we know so the situation is that we came out of an elevator, there are zombies attacking, there's a skateboard on the ground. Last time we convinced Zoe to wink at it weakly, and that did not turn out well, so I'm going to go with the other option, that we hop on the skateboard and try to do a little jump. You step on the skateboard and do a big flip over the zombies. Awesome! You cry softly. Your cool trick distracts the zombies long enough for Zoe to escape the elevator, which is just a coincidence. She runs over to you and you're bored. Jump on, you tell her. It's giant. Zoe tries to get on the skateboard with you, but she's clumsy and falls in the mud. When she gets up, she looks like she owns a nasty guitar with strings made of filth. Play something dirty, you joke. You joke, boy, you. The zombies are catching up to you and Zoe. We'd better get going. Well, we are a genuine joke boy, making jokes about how dirty Zoe is. The skateboard slowly glides down a slimy tunnel with you on it. It starts talking about how awful your eyes and mouth are to look at. You begin to feel very kidnapped. You glance over your shoulder, waiting for Zoe to escape. Come on, Zoe, you shout. The zombies' putrid flesh smells like robots and scabs. They smell terrible, and I'm all the way over here. When Zoe finally catches up, she stinks of zombie. I don't like the way you smell, you tell her calmly. It's taking every fiber of my being not to hurl. Zoe snaps. She raises her hand and punches you right in the talk circle. You're shocked. Are you going to take that? Chat, are you going to take that? If you want to take that, then press 1. If you want to not take that, then press 2. Are you going to take being punched in the talk circle by Zoe? Granted, we have been a little bit of our talk circle has been a little bit of obnoxious these past couple of pages, but does that warrant getting punched by Zoe? It looks like that the chat is saying that we are going to take it. So I think that we are going to stop the vote, and we are going to go to number 1. We're going to take it by going to page 133. Zoe's pretty mad at you. She sticks her finger into your face and explains why you are the perfect solution to not puking. You think it's kinda hot. You really are a coward, she hisses at you, smashing her paw into your head again. You cry a little bit, but don't let her see. Your jaw feels haunted by the ghost of pain. Should we keep going? You ask hopefully. Zoe's red-faced and out of breath. You think it might be over now. Your cousin stands on the giant skateboard. You try to get on too, but she stops you. No, she says. You can walk behind. Zoe and the skateboard start moving. Talk about disgusting, says the skateboard, meaning your face. You should see him without makeup. Zoe laughs. You jog alongside. Well, I mean, we're not riding our skateboard anymore. Now we have to walk on foot. Gotta try to keep up. After a few minutes, you start to fall behind. Can you please slow down? Did you hear something? Zoe asks the skateboard. Sound doesn't travel in the dark. You try yelling louder, but it's no use. Pretty soon, the laughter fades away. They're gone. First, you lose your ball. Now, you've lost your cousin. Today's been a salt shaker of horrors, and you're the salt. Zoe, you moan. Where are you? You walk around aimlessly like a real wimp that's stupid. You run smack into a stone wall and begin to cry. Then the wall starts shaking. You decide to open your eyes. It's a secret door to a secret house. I wonder who lives here, you think. Zoe? The door slides open. You wipe your face on your sleeve and start walking in. That's when you notice the plaque. Enter the tomb of the slimy man, you read aloud. Gulp? Better do what you say. No choice here. We gotta enter the tomb. A tall man with a red cape greets you when you come in. Please, he says, holding a powerful one. Take a seat. You stare at him with your mouth open. The man laughs nervously. He prods you with his stick, and you sit down. The house is neatly cut, with a pleasant odor and a blue-gray color scheme. Blue is suddenly your favorite color. You can't help feeling sorry for the people who like the color green. What are you? You ask impatiently. I'm a magician, the man replies. He waves his wand and a plate of cookies appear. I can summon anything except visitors, so I'm glad you're here. You're still not convinced. If you're a magician, then guess my height. The magician takes a deep breath and guesses your height correctly. Wow! I'm the same height as my best friend, you say excitedly. The magician pretends to be interested. You are really hungry. The magician holds out his hand, grasping a few cookies. Sorry, the banana grain crumbles are still in the wrappers, he says sheepishly. You can't decide if this is a trick. And what about your allergies? Your stomach grumbles. Chat, we have a choice here. Do we bite the magician, or do we eat his food? Like, he's offering us food. Do we respond by biting him? And if we do, then go with number 1. Oh, actually, is the voting not appearing? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, okay, there we go. If you want to eat the food, then go with number 2. I know it's an appealing thought to bite the magician. It's a little rude, though, don't you think? It's pretty even as to which way the chat wants to go. Like, I think the chat knows it's rude, but at the same time, they're curious to know what a magician tastes like. It's 53 to 53. Nope, now number 1 is slightly in the lead, but only slightly. And once again, the people who voted pizza could have made the difference here. The people who voted pizza could have done it. See, look at what you did, people who voted pizza. Oh, no, never mind. It's not a tie. Number 2 came in right at the last second. Okay, so it's number 2. And that is, we are going to taste the Magic Man's food. The cookies are just vanilla mush, but who are you kidding, Chubby? You scarf them down like the pig you are, and the magician is delighted. Jolly good, he beams. And how about some magic milk to wash it down? You flash him a toothy smile. That's exactly what you had in mind. The magician pours you a glass. He tells you to stay right where you are. Then he disappears down the hall. This man's great, you think, stirring your cow potion with a straw. You hope he comes back with your ball. Oh yeah, the ball. We're looking for that. You're looking around for something else to put in your trash hole when the magician returns with 2 business suits. One is golden and the other tan. Which do you like more? He asks nervously. Gold, you say without thinking. You don't really care. Well, no choice here. We're just going to say gold. Also, gold and tan are not that different, really. Also, I like the phrase cow potion. I probably will use that now. The magician is satisfied with the gold suit. He puts it on and shows off the hourglass figure he's always been hungry for. You are someone who knows what a cabinet of swords is, he tells you. I am? Yes. And you are suddenly in luck. He grunts as he lifts the curtain on a good scare of swords in a dark, trembling cabinet. You may have any sword as your reward. I didn't know the plural of sword was a scare of swords. This is educational. We're learning things. Chat, we have a choice for you to make. We can take a seat, turn some swords slowly back and forth, and choose the one that's most shiny with number 1. Or we can ask Mr. Flashlight Pants which one is magic and take that. You could vote number 2. I'm glad that we made a friend. Wow, number 2 is overwhelming here. But I am glad that we made a friend here. We don't seem like the type of person who has a lot of friends. We're also kind of horny for our cousin, and, well, we may want to just think that one over. So it's good that we made a friend with the magician. We're eating his cookies and milk, and he's giving us a gift in the form of a sword. So, all right, we're going with number 2. It does appear. We're going to ask Mr. Flashlight Pants which one is magic. Which sword is the most magic? You ask the magician. You figure if anyone knows, it's got to be him. The magician picks up a long gray sword with a beautiful wooden handle. It looks like it could pierce through just about anything. Plus, it's on fire. This one is really magical, he tells you. Just point it at the person you want to die and stab at them. Whoa! Thanks a lot, you whisper loudly. This will make killing zombies a lot easier. How will I get out? Yeah, the magician says, sounding surprised. That door, leads to the other side of the forest. Cool, you say, putting the sword in your bag. The magician thought you were staying longer, but he doesn't seem hurt. You let yourself out. Nice to meet you, the magician calls from the porch. You don't turn around. We seem kind of lacking in the social graces. The sun hits your face in warts, and you feel happy to be outside again. A voice calls you from beneath the waterfall. Hey, we're over here. It's Zoe and the skateboard. You run over to inspect them. We've been waiting for you, Zoe says. Somehow they're roasting marshmallows. Zoe is the overlord of campers. You apologize for before, and the skateboard gives you the thumbs up sign. The 3 of you are about to heave out when you hear a strange croaking. It couldn't be. What could it possibly be? Also, the sun does feel very good on your warts. It's true. Frogs. Why does it have to be frogs? You feel yourself beginning to panic. Wear us like a hat, they croak. We'll help you to look hot. You start flapping your arms like a bird and screaming for help. Don't freak, Zoe consoles you. You glance around the stone pit and yank some stones off the walls, all hard and sharpened like a rock man's teeth. Then you throw it at the frogs. They shrink. You shrink. So you're shrunk now. You can keep going, but don't forget you're tiny. What an unexpected turn of events. We are small. A small person. A tiny person? Is Zoe tiny? Probably not. Zoe turns to you, eyes flush pink with anger. The skateboard starts rolling away. Why are you doing breathing? Zoe asks you. You think she might be mad about the shrinking thing. You need to lighten the mood a little. Fast. You pull out your water gun and spray Zoe in the face. Water drips down her head and everything, and her mouth slowly turns into smiles. She laughs. The skateboard laughs. You lower your weapon. The plan worked. Let's keep looking for the ball, Zoe says finally, grinning from ear to ear. You both agree. But where? Well, I'm glad that worked out. Is everyone small? Did everyone become tiny? I'm a little difficult following that, but okay. What's important here is that we have to vote on whether or not we're going to look for the ball in the dark and creepy, corpse-stinking jungle, or do we look for it over there in that clearing? So chat, do you want to go to the dark, creepy, corpse-stinking jungle with choice 1, or do you want to look over there in that clearing, whatever that is? One of them sounds more inviting than the other, but it does seem like the chat is saying that we need to go to where the zombies probably are. Well, we do have our magic sword now, so maybe it'll be okay. I guess I'll end the vote now, and we will go with choice number 1. Let's go farther into the darkness, you tell the others. I want to see what happens in there. They both give you odd looks, but no one wants to be a jerk. Okay, the skateboard finally says with a shrug, and everyone starts walking to their deaths. Before long, you're lost, wading through 3 feet of trees, hungry and thirsty and stressed. I'm sorry, you cry. This was ridiculous. It's okay, Zoe consoles you. You never do the smart thing. The skateboard shouldn't have said yes. Me? The skateboard yells. It's not my fault. Why would you say that? Zoe rolls her eyes. Just forget it, she says. The skateboard is really angry at your cousin. It spins around quickly and begins strangling both of you. Luckily, it gets tired and stops after about 5 hours. Zoe is dead, though. Oh. Well, that could be a problem. I guess we'll keep walking. The skateboard is gone, and your cousin is nowhere. It's getting dark and cold. You want to sneeze, but you can't. You have to walk fast, but you don't know where. You try to ask the animals of the forest, but they are animals and bite you. Once they're finished finding your nerve, out comes trotting... Okay, once they're finished finding your nerve, out comes trotting toward you a big undead man. Had kind of difficulty grasping that sentence. Of course, you mutter. The zombies. Kid, is this adventure fun? The zombies lumbers along after you like a rainbow-colored moose with fear for antlers. You try to pull its head off, but it's hard to get a grip when the beach is in your hand. Then, you have a brain flash. What's your idea? That depends. Chat, what is the idea? Did we meet a magician in a gold suit, or did we meet a Great Dane in a vest? Chat, which one of these did we meet? Sometimes a choose-your-own-adventure story would actually have something like this, and it just was based on the honor system that, hey, did you meet one of these previously in the story? You have to be truthful. Don't lie. Which one did you meet? The chat is going to be truthful and say that we met a magician in a gold suit. You pull out your magic sword and shake it in the air. The zombie cowers, and the sweet smell of fear blasts you in the face. You start laughing like a maniac. Then, just as you're about to rip through its brain like a laser gun through blackness, you have a funny feeling. Looking down at the helpless former human, you can't help thinking it could use your help. I'm gonna regret, you say as you pull the zombie up with your sand. Oh yeah, your sand hands, I forgot about that. It smiles at you. It looks really relieved. Another zombie sticks its head out from behind a tree, then another. Wearily, they approach you. Soon, you're surrounded by zombies, and they're not after your brains at all. They just want a hand. You decide to stay in the zombie forest and assume the position of forest cop. Your job is to show school kids educational films and to stop campers from shooting up. It's a bad life, and you don't like it. But the zombies need you. And that feels nice. The end. Well, we got to an ending where we didn't die. I don't know if I would call it a good ending, since we were not happy with our life. And we never made it to school to participate in the big basketball game, and Brad would be very disappointed. Like, I don't need to tell you, Brad would be very upset, because we know what happens when we don't play in the game. Our team loses by 1 dunk. We can't let Brad down. So we're going to have to start again. Let me just take a little break and get something to drink before we start this again. And I'll be seeing you in, let's say, like maybe 10 minutes. Back in 10 minutes, and we will start another go to try to make it to school. It seemed like we were on a good path because, hey, we got the magic sword. We were going to be able to kill zombies, but then the skateboard killed Zoe. Skateboard rolled away, and we decided to stay in the forest for the rest of our lives. So, got to do better, chat. We got to do better. Hopefully, we can do better next time. See you in a few minutes. Hello, everyone. Starting the story again. So we got a pretty good ending last time, but not good enough. Look, Brad is counting on us, and that means that we have to keep going through the forest and trying to make it to school so we could participate in the basketball game. And if we don't do it, the team's going to lose. Are you okay with that, chat? Are you okay with the idea that we're going to let everyone down? Because I'm not. I am not. Chat, what do you want to do this time? Do you want to take the bridge or stay at home? It's hard to say which way is the better way, because we know if we stay at home, we're going to live a life that we hate, but we would have the option of time travel. So it's hard to say how that might turn out. So we can handle either fight zombies or fight vampire kids seem to be the options. The chat is saying number 2. So we're going to stop the vote and we're going to stay at home, which is going to lead to us looking after the vampire kids. Chat, what about this one here? Do we accept that we're a joke to the vampire children? Or do we go over there and box their ears? So last time we accepted that we were a joke. And we were very depressed about it. Do we exert some physical discipline on our vampire children now, however? Is that what needs to happen here? Clearly they need discipline. I don't know if we're the ones to actually do it. Looks like the chat is saying yes. So let's go over there and box those ears. It's like this, you think. You have to close your hands and start pumping your children with your fists. Well, no one will blame. It's just what you've got to do. You walk up to the vampires and back up your wrist. This will make you forget your teeth. You growl. The vampires turn around and glare at you. You immediately feel trouble. In seconds, one of them is grabbing your arm with their teeth. It's not completely a bite, but it feels like somebody is killing you, and it certainly hurts. You wriggle out of the vampire's grip and run inside. You waggle your finger at it through the window as if to say, "No, don't bite me." The vampires lick their fangs. Your blood will be there soon. You grab around for a weapon, but you can't find anything except a comic book. That's really cool, but it probably won't help. The vampires open the door. They seem hungry. Oh, brother. Man, we got ourselves into it now. A vampire gets you with a neck bite. That's boring and you're dead. The end. Well, I guess we should have figured that. You know, let's just, let's head to... Let's stay at home and let's see what we can do from here. So we know that boxing the ears will result in death. Also, do not pump your children with your fists. Under no circumstances should you be doing that. So let's just accept that we're a joke to them. Let's see. Okay, what TV show do we want to watch, chat? Last time we selected Toothpaste Ninja. and then we fell asleep and had a nightmare. We did not watch the infomercial about removing nasty wrinkles from our old man's skin. I guess that's something that we could benefit from, though. It does seem like number 2 is probably going to win this one. All right. So, let's find out more about removing these nasty wrinkles. Well, I think it's just the same choice, isn't it? Yes, this is the same dream. It appeared... Yes, okay. So I guess it did not matter. We're watching about Dr. Backpack. Okay. So this is where we find out about Dr. Backpack. He is a time scientist, and he says that he has invented a time machine. Chat, last time we decided that we believe and love Dr. Backpack. Do you still believe and love him? Or do you refuse to be taken in by some nerd scientist's demented word talk? It seems like the chat still believes and loves Dr. Backpack. Okay. So we hate the family, right? The floor is filthy. We are not going to vacuum the floor. We are going to ask Dr. Backpack to throw us through time. You grab your arms and head for the exit when you see something sitting on the coffee table. It's a photo of you and your cousin Zoe clapping. It must have been shaken on your trip to Stone Castle. Zoe was the only good part of that vacation. Your wife was in a moat, and the children must have bitten 40 chickens. If it hadn't been for Zoe's clapping races, your mind would have come loose. Maybe Zoe would like to come join me in the past, you think, as you leave. I'll go to her house and ask. You close the door and walk down the driveway, but when you glance behind you, you see a horrifying sight. The house is right behind you. Ah! You cry. What are you screaming about? Asks the house. You feel as if you were eating lunch. You walk to the place your cousin lives and bang on the doorstep with your fists. Your hands start to hurt, and that means it's working. After a few minutes, Zoe's cruel husband opens the door. What makes you think? He asks you gruffly. I wish that I can talk to Zoe. I'll grant your wish, Neto, the tall man says, if you could answer this special Goosebumps question. Ugh. You nod miserably. Zoe's husband always makes you answer Goosebumps trivia before he lets you see Zoe, and it's not right. In the book, the eyesight is haunted. Use neck to Jason Ring to remove the eye curse. You gulp loudly and sneeze to hide it. You know this one. Or maybe you don't. Chat. What are you going to go with here? Do you think the boy strangled the eye witch, or do you think it was the casserole queen? Number 1, if you think the boy strangled the eye witch. Number 2, if you think the casserole queen did it. We have to get this right for Zoe's husband to let us talk to Zoe. It does seem like the chat is going with number 1, thinking that it was the boy. Look, I have not read The Eyesight is Haunted, so I can't lend assistance with this. But the chat seems pretty confident. Okay, I'm going to assume that the chat knows what they're talking about, and we're going to say that the boy strangled the eye witch. It was the eye witch, you say hesitantly, right? Wrong, Zoe's husband, who you think is named George, cries in triumph. I win. Have you even ever heard of R.L. Stein? Of course I have, you protest. I just couldn't remember. Besides, you probably made the whole thing up. Zoe's husband slams the door in your face. After a few moments, he comes back carrying a jumble of books. Here it is, he says gruffly. The eyesight is haunted. He hands you a thin book with a haunted eye in the front, and above it, in scary, raised lettering, Goosebumps. This is the coolest cover in the universe, you think. It makes you want to read it. Right now. Okay, we're going to flip the book over. You start reading the back of the book to get a taste of what's inside. It's Jack's birthday, and his parents are taking him to a new kind of food, but something really weird is happening in the kitchen. Something to do with ghosts. "See? I told you it was that," says Zoe's husband. "I'm sorry," you reply. "I thought I was a Goosebumps expert, but I guess I haven't read all of them." "You should. You can borrow this one, and then when you're finished, you can talk to Zoe." "Thanks, George," you say happily. You can tell from the look on his face that that's not his name. Oh, hasn't that happened to all of us? You walk home without any cousins. You reach your house just in time to see those stupid kids transforming into bats. "Hey!" you yell up at their bedroom window. "I see you. Don't you dare fly out." Bats can't really laugh, but you can tell they're smiling. They fly down to where you're standing and transform back into giggling idiot form. "That's it!" you scream. "I've just about had enough." You're furious. Without thinking, you strike the larger boy in the mouth. The vampires stop laughing abruptly. Maybe it worked. Maybe they'll start listening to you now. You feel strangely powerful. You can't wait to see your wife. Then the vampires eat you. The end. Well, we seem like we had a good idea there with trying to get to Dr. Backpack in his time machine, so I do want to try to do that again. Except now we know the keyword to get to see Zoe, and that is that it was the Casserole Queen who did something in a Goosebumps story. Yeah, the Casserole Queen was the one who strangled the Eye Witch. So that is what we will pick. The answer is Casserole Queen, you say smugly. It was her food that put ghosts in his face. Zoe's husband rolls his eyes. "Zoe," he calls, "a dweeb is outside. You got it right." Zoe steps outside looking puzzled. You realize your sweater is blue. "This is going to choke your head," you begin, "but don't dare move." You tell Zoe your plan and she loves it. "We could even go back and stop my mom from going to prison," she shrieks. "Yeah, maybe," you reply. You're not really listening. "But when did you want to show up in front of his lab?" Zoe asks. "Right now." You and Zoe are adults, so she has a car. She drives you to Dr. Backpack's house where the scientist contains his lab. It is very late and raining. Zoe has beautiful black hair. It doesn't seem like it's relevant right now. Knock, you think as you knock on the door with your hands. Here goes nothing. "What do you want?" An old man voice bellows from inside. "I'm a loser," you explain. "I want to go back in time." The door swings open and you recognize the voice from TV. "Come in from outside," chuckles Dr. Backpack, "before you puke." We're going to push past him. You enter the building without spewing. Zoe looks proud of you. "This way?" chuckles Dr. Backpack. You and Zoe follow him down a narrow hallway. The walls are lined with paintings of the doctor smiling and reading different magazines. You're impressed he can afford all those subscriptions. Finally, you reach a door that says laboratory. "Is this your laboratory?" you ask. "That's right," replies Dr. Backpack. "You're killing it tonight. And this," he continues, "is the time machine?" The time machine doesn't move. It's big and metallic and has 11 buttons on the front panel. Of course, those are just the buttons you can see. Who knows how many buttons are inside? "We want to go into the past," Zoe says slowly. "Because of vampiring," you add, a little bit faster. Dr. Backpack is all business. "It will cost you $50. $50? You and Zoe look at each other for some serious time. Chat. Are we gonna pay Dr. Backpack? Or there's two of you and one of him. Chat, number one to pay, number two to not pay. $50 is a lot. But it does seem like the chat is agreeing to pay Dr. Backpack. I mean, this is a legitimate exchange. of services, so sure, we'll pay. You decide against attacking Dr. Backpack, but you don't have $50. I don't have coin, you whisper to Zoe. Me neither, she replies. You look over at the doc. He doesn't seem like he's changed his mind. Money still? You ask. Dr. Backpack punches the wall. Yikes! One of us is gonna have to find some cash, you say to Zoe. I don't want to go back outside, Zoe moans sadly. You don't want to go either. It's cold outside and watery. What about a game of rock, paper, scissors, you suggest? Zoe agrees. Rock, paper, scissors, chat. Choices 1 through 3. 1 is rock, 2 is paper, 3 is scissors. Which one will you pick? And will it win? No, not pizza. Pizza's not an option. Pizza cannot win. It looks like scissors is in the lead. Will that turn out to be a good choice? We don't know. We won't know until Zoe picks. So, yeah, scissors is in the lead. It's comfortable lead, so I'm going to stop the vote. And I'm going to pick scissors. You throw scissors and Zoe throws rocks. You lose and it's humiliating. I win, Zoe says smugly. Take these quarters and use them to buy some more. You don't think that's how it works. Go on, kid, adds Dr. Backpack. Now? Zoe hands you 3 coins and you set off to find the other 49.25. You kick your dry brown legs for choosing wrong. Of course, rock, you sob. It is cool and watery as you walk down Dr. Backpack's street. Is that money? You wonder about a piece of paper. It isn't. A few trucks begin laughing uncontrollably at you from behind a giant tree. You're into it, but they all stop when you laugh too. Bummer. You slowly trudge forward with clenched body parts through 3 feet of thick milk. Every few minutes, you kneel down and drink a little. Then you see something wicked drip down the night sky. What could it be? What does page 110 have to tell us? High in the air, a plane explodes, and a big mess lands squarely at your feet. Whatever it is, it must have escaped before the crash. You can't believe how yummy your jeans are. Out from under the parachute emerge the 2 cool members of Rush. The guitar guy is dead, they say perfectly together. Can you please be in Rush with us? Chat? You want to be part of Rush? You can if you choose one, or if you want to hold out for a better rock group, you can use 2. 1 to be part of Rush, 2 to not be part of Rush. I don't know how well Rush pays, but it should be enough to at least get $50, I would think. Looks like the chat definitely wants to be part of Rush. Yeah! You scream, practically shouting. You love the band Rush. Your dream has come true. You join them on stage the following night. The crowd clap their hands and tug at your shoelaces, calling your name. You don't know how to play, but no one is listening. You strike the little guitar with your hand, and your fans go bananas. You feel like the creator of all things. I could get used to this, you think? Then you see 2 pale faces in the distance. It's the vampires, and they're laughing at your music. You're shocked. Who gave them tickets? You're about to be sick when you get an idea. You walk up to a microphone and begin to say, "This next song is about vampires. If you see any vampires tonight, make them feel bad." You start rocking, and the whole stadium cheers, pushing and shoving anyone who looks undead. Your vampire children leave looking glum. Someone kicks their teeth in on the way out. This is a happy ending. The end. Wow, we got a happy ending. Well, we ended up becoming part of the band Rush. We forgot about time travel. Our vampire children were made to feel bad, so at least there's that. But we never got to participate in the basketball game and make Brad happy. Remember our good friend Brad? We can't let him down. Guess we're just going to have to do this again. Okay, so we probably should make a vote of, do we want to try to take the route of going through the forest, or do we want to try time travel? We'll just make that vote right now. Chat, number 1 for if you want to go through the forest, or number 2 if you want time travel. So which way do we want to try to do this? Because we've gotten pretty far in both directions. It looks like time travel is going to win. Okay, so we're going to be going with time travel, and we're going to see if we can finally get to the time machine. So let's see. We're starting here. We're going to go here. We're going to stay at home. Fine. Okay, we're going to do this. We're a joke. Distract ourselves from the pain. Watch TV, have a dream. Dr. Backpack tells us about time travel. We're going to go visit Dr. Backpack. Visit Zoe. She comes with us. Okay, so we probably should make a vote here. Chat, do you want to try to pay Dr. Backpack and go down that route? Or do you want to try forcing the issue? Because finding $50 seems like it's going to be a problem. Do you think we can take Dr. Backpack? I don't know about this, but finding $50 apparently is an issue. The chat is saying that maybe we should just try to force our way. Alright, let's do it. Zoe, there's 2 of us, and only 1 Dr. Backpack. So let's turn to page 119. You glance at your cousin, and you can tell she's thinking the same thing. It's time for blood. You crouch behind Dr. Backpack like lightning, and Zoe pushes him with the force of a cyclone. The smart man falls backwards, and you have to laugh. You're the smart one more than him now. Give us time travel before you're through, Zoe starts commanding. You think it's kinda hot. With an evil smile, Dr. Backpack shakes and says, No, he says slowly, I don't think so. Just like that, an alarm bell rings. The lights go out. The scent of decaying meat fills the room. Better run, chuckles Dr. Backpack. Run! Oh no, decaying meat! The zombies are here! How did the zombies get here? You gasp back and forth and suddenly run away. Zoe starts screaming, but you don't look back. You race into the room called Library and set up a barricade. The scientist's footsteps echo as he walks down the hall. You need to figure out which bookcase does revolving. Now! Sweet little man, Dr. Backpack taunts. Unlock the room. He throws his body against the door. Police? You pull magazine after magazine looking for the secret passageway. When you pick up the July issue of Diamond Rings, again you hear the sound of clanking. It worked. So long, stinko, you yell through the walls, but then you notice it's not the bookcase that's moving. The floor is. A passageway opens directly beneath your feet, and you fall into a plexiglass tube. The tube spits you into a pile of brooms. You are now a broom. No sweep for the wicked. The end. Oh man, I can't believe we became a broom. That's definitely not a good ending. We never even made it to the time machine again. Look, we gotta time travel. We've been trying so hard to get to time travel. We have not been able to do it. We're definitely gonna make it to time travel at some point. The thing about electronic choose-your-own-adventure games is that you can't just put your thumb in the last page before you make a choice. You just have to go back all the way through again. Okay. Forcing the issue did not work. Chat, which one do you want to pick for rock, paper, scissors? 1, 2, or 3? And of course, we already did pick 3. That doesn't mean 3 is not the right choice. It just means that we had to go find money, and we were not able to do it because we hooked up with Rush. I guess it doesn't necessarily mean that we shouldn't pick 3, but we should see what 1 and 2 might do. It looks like the chat is saying that we are going to pick paper. So, let us pick paper. You win! Zoe chose rock for some stupid reason. She looks really embarrassed. You lost, you say soothingly. She drags her feet, but she leaves eventually. Dr. Backpack invites you to sit down while you wait. Are ghosts science? You ask him. No, he chuckles. Only vampires. There's a lot of cool stuff in Dr. Backpack's lab. You see a cage full of mice. It's just like Jurassic Park, but it's mice instead of dinosaurs. So cool. Over in the corner is a big box of shovels. Science shovels, you imagine. There's a blowtorch and a potato gun. A ton of buttons. He even has his own newsstand, which explains a lot. What if I tell you how the time machine works while we wait? Dr. Backpack offers. That knowledge sounds really interesting and useful, and you'd love to learn it. On the other hand, you kind of need the bathroom. Chat, do we stay and listen? Or do we have to spray yellow right now? I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta go, but learning about how a time machine works sounds like it would be interesting. And who knows how long we'll be waiting before Zoe comes back. And she might join Rush, for all we know. It looks like the chat is saying number 1. So, let's stay and listen from the doctor. You'd love to ruin the bathroom, but maybe there's more fun to be trampled on here. Lay it on my brain, you beg. Let's say time is like a pair of kids pretending to be sunglasses, Dr. Backpack begins, and space is the man in white coveralls munching on alien eggs. Then you can think of my machine as the cut-off jeans. You zone out. About 10 minutes later, the scientist finally stops talking. Squeezing the life out of an orange. Does that make sense? He asks. Got it, you reply. Dr. Backpack has oily skin. That's funny, you think. Then you hear someone entering the house. It must be Zoe with the good doctor's money. But she couldn't be back already. Could she? Let's turn to page 70 to find out. You have to wait all of 10 seconds for your answer. It's not Zoe at all. It's the vampires. They must have turned into bats and followed you here. These people are my children, you explain. The vampires lick their lips and you take a step back. Dr. Backpack follows your lead. Hello? Dr. Backpack chuckles nervously. You can see the veins running through his skin. He probably looks pretty tasty. Our only chance is to run, you whisper. You know there's no point in trying to reason with them. They're going to drain all of Dr. Backpack's blood. And maybe your blood, too. Suddenly, Dr. Backpack starts to run. You can't believe it! He's running away without you! Maybe you should follow him. After all, he probably knows the best places to hide in his own house. Then again, maybe if you split up and zoom to the top level, you'll have a better chance of not being cornered by the Neckbite twins. The big one is laughing. You'd better run some way. Chat? Which way are we gonna run? Do we follow Dr. Backpack, or do we go upstairs? Do we team up with the doctor, or do we split up? Which is the better option, do you think? It looks like that the chat thoroughly believes that number 1 is the option. Let us follow Dr. Backpack. It's safer to chase up to Dr. Backpack than to go in your own way out of spite. You're probably right. You follow the doctor down hallway into a room full of moldy furniture and rotten gunk, and he swings the door shut. Let's set up a barricade, you say, only trying to help. Shh! Dr. Backpack snaps. You don't like that. Then he points to something very big on the floor. You think you'd better rethink your mouth. Let's keep quiet on page 128. Suddenly, Dr. Backpack says, I'm Dr. Backpack? No, I'm Backpack. You tell him to be quiet, but it's too late. The vampire tigers from under the bed hear him and eat him. There's gotta be a better place to keep the vampire tigers. Then they look up at you, their fangs glinting in the dim light. You're still hungry? Growling deeply, the tigers jump through the air majestically to have a big bite. Chat. What are we doing? Vampire tigers. We thought it couldn't get any worse, and it has. Do we say thanks, it feels wonderful? Or do we hit the tigers on the nose with a rolled-up magazine? It's a sticky situation. It's a situation I hope you never actually have to be in yourself. It looks like the chat is saying we're going with number 2. Oh, did I show the vote? No, I think I didn't have that on screen. Well, there it is. It says number 2. And we're going to hit the tigers on the nose with the rolled-up magazine. You use the October issue of Men Dress Well, and oof, yikes, yow. The vampire tigers take a step back. They look surprised. Vampire tigers aren't scarier to you than regular tigers, because regular tigers already have fangs, and they can really crunch up your skull, so it doesn't make a big difference. I'm scared of you because you're tigers, you declare with confidence, not because you are vampire tigers. The vampire tigers nod in calm understanding and crunch up your skull. The end. There is a point. If you're being attacked by a tiger to begin with, does it matter if it's a vampire tiger? Probably not. Seems like you're dead either way. Man, we gotta make it to that time machine. We're so close to that time machine. I know we can do it. I know we can do it, chat. I know we can make it to the time machine. I know we can go back in time, and we can escape our vampire children as well as the vampire tigers. Drow Zebra in the chat saying, aren't we all dead either way? And you're right. In a way, it doesn't matter which choices we make because we'll all end up as vampire tiger food someday, but not today. Maybe we can say, at least for this one night, we are not going to be eaten by tigers or vampires or vampire tigers. Maybe this one night we will succeed at making it to the time machine. All right. Do we want to stay and listen to the doctor explain time travel, or do we want to spray yellow this time? Which way should we go on this one? Last time we decided to stay and listen. We could spray yellow, because we ended up not listening to him anyway. The chat is saying we should go with number 2 and spray yellow. Sorry, Smarty Pants, you apologize, but I'd rather use the John. Dr. Packback tells you exactly where to go. You run out of the lab and down a long hallway until you're facing 2 doors. A sign overhead reads, "This way to bathroom and the room of your scream." Chat? Do we want to go to the bathroom, or do we want to go forward to your scream place? We do need to go to the bathroom. But I would say that does sound intriguing. I've never been in a room of your scream. What would that even be? It's pretty close. Pretty close between bathroom and scream place. You know, really, you could use the bathroom as the room of your scream. It could double as that. Like, that's a tip for those of you who live in apartments or small houses. You don't have enough room for your own scream room. You could use the bathroom as your scream room. It's 40 versus 40. Pizza. Why did you choose pizza? There's one vote that chose pizza, and they could have did the tiebreaker. It's still 42 versus 42. It's 43 47 versus 44 is the final vote. Okay. Came down to the wire that time. So, we're going with number 1. We're going to go to the bathroom. You enter the bathroom and start running. Wow! You exclaim. You're very relieved. You wash your hands and stare at your reflection in the mirror. You can't imagine what it's like to be good looking. Oh, my feelings. Zoe had better come up with the cash, you say to no one in particular. You dry your wet flesh and start walking back. You think about something stupid you said at dinner when you hear a bone-chilling scream. Did someone forget to close the scream room door? I have to admit, this is very close to my own bathroom experiences, aside from hearing screams. No, aside from hearing screams, yes. Let's listen on page 33. Screams are coming from Dr. Backpack's laboratory. You listen more closely. It's Dr. Backpack. You tiptoe down to the laboratory and peek through the doorway. Your eyes are filled with disgust. It's your 2 boy vampires, and they're feeding on Dr. Backpack. Oh no! They must have followed you to the lab, even after you told them to stay put. This is really annoying. Help! Dr. Backpack screams. You don't know how he's not dead yet. You really want to help Dr. Backpack, and you need him to operate the time machine, but those vampires of yours can be pretty scary, especially when someone interrupts their meal. Zoe can't be far away, and Dr. Backpack hasn't seen you yet. If you wait a minute, then at least it would be a fair fight. So I guess the options are number 1, try to fight the 2 vampire children ourselves. Number 2, wait for Zoe, so it will be 2 on 2, is I guess what it is we're talking about here. Looks like number 2 is in the lead, which doesn't surprise me. We have not shown ourselves to be much of a fighter in this story, I think. We tend to lose all the fights. Maybe it's good to wait for Zoe. You're not taking any chances. You decide to hide until Zoe comes back with the cash. Maybe you can pay the vampires to drink someone else. Smart. Seeing your children is making you hungry, so you think the kitchen might be a good place to hide. You slip quietly down the hallway and open the door that says Eat Room and gasp. It's the refrigerator from Full House. You fix yourself a peel and schmear sandwich and flip through a magazine. What's taking Zoe so long, you begin to wonder. But before you can answer, there's a knock on Dr. Backpack's front door. It must be Zoe with the cash. You hear the vampires giggle in the distance. Maybe you should have waited for her in front of the door. I have coin to adventure, Zoe yells from outside. The vampires open the door, and Zoe screams. You listen as the 2 vampires drink your cousin's neck for what seems like an eternity. When they're through, they transform into bats and fly away into the night. It is now safe to check on her. You nod to the fridge with a sigh. The only thing this house is full of is blood. Oh, isn't that the way of things? Everyone's dead except us. And that's really what counts. Let's put our head around the corner. You peer down the hall, but it's too late. Your cousin doesn't have any blood anymore. Those greedy, half-dead bat children must have eaten all of it. You curse their sharp teeth. Oh well, Zoe's dead. Or is she become vampire? No time to check now. You've got time to travel. This will all reverse happen anyway. You step over Dr. Backpack as you enter the lab. You have no idea how the time machine works, but it's okay. You can press buttons like a pro. You just need to work out which button to press. You narrow the choice down to 2. One button's red, the other green. Which will it be? Yeah, you see? If we time travel, none of this will have happened. It will have reverse happened, so it's fine that Zoe and Dr. Backpack were torn apart by vampires. It doesn't matter. We're going to fix it. And we're also going to fix the basketball game and make Brad proud of us. Looks like the chat is saying that they want to press the green button. It looks like that is what we're going to do. So option 2, pushing the green button is better. Page 69. You push the green one. Almost immediately, the time machine starts mixing you and your sense of direction in a bowl made of loud colors and flashing sounds. The smell of natural history books feels good on your skin, a shimmering, transparent force liquid that goes down your spine. It sure seems like you're tunneling through time. All right. Almost as soon as it starts, it smushes to a stop. You open your eyes to find you're in front of your family house. It looks just like it would have on the day you missed the bus. This is great, you think. But where is everyone? You check the timepiece in your pocket. It's almost time. You and your cousin must be working on their faces. You knock on door, but there's no answer. Better go inside. Chat, we did it. We finally traveled back in time. I knew we could do it at some point. Hello? You call as you walk down the corridor. Zoe? Me? This is sort of weird. Everything looks slightly different from the past. Where are all the boxes? And what happened to the blinds? The kitchen is empty and the plates have been licked clean. You check the refrigerator. No one has been to the nearby yogurt store for a while. You head upstairs to check your bedroom, but it's locked from the outside. One thing hasn't changed, you laugh. But why don't you hear frightened screams? You're starting to get mad. You must be up in the attic, you realize. If you're hiding, you're gonna rip you apart. Let's calm down on page 27. You climb up the rope ladder and take a look around. Nope, you're not here either. This is bizarre. Suddenly a thought hits you. This is your chance to dig through all your parents' stuff. You run over to the crate marked Famous Sports Star and take your dad's baseball card out of its special plastic box. And you gasp. It's not your dad's face anymore. It's a giant pig man. You have to admit the pig man probably has a stronger arm. A chill runs through you. The time machine didn't just send you back in time. It sent you to another dimension. And in this world, pigs are in charge. Your mouth drops out of your face and bellows stars and stripes forever. Ugh. Your least favorite march by a mile. The end. Well, we made it to the time machine, but it didn't take us to our time. It took us to another dimension's time. A pig person time. And that's not the time we wanted to be in, chat. It's not the time. We gotta go back. We gotta go back and do it again. We don't want the pig person timeline. We want the timeline where we get to the time machine and then head back to our timeline. And then we wait. I guess we're going to wait for Zoe and us to go to school. And then we're going to go to school. Maybe we go with them. Maybe we team up with us and Zoe. Because if we don't, I don't know what else I'm not... I'm going to assume we're looking for Zoe and us so we can make a three-person team. Oh. But I guess we need to know what the Scream Place is. We never visited the Scream Place. You hear screams as soon as you push open the door. That's it. Hope it was really fun for you to be in your own Scream room. Yeah, it was pretty fun. There we go. Anyway, we're in the bathroom. Let's try to get back to the buttons. So, Zoe is gonna get killed. The vampires leave. Dr. Backpack and Zoe are dead. We are alone with the time machine. Let's try pushing the red button this time and see what happens. You decide to push the button that is red. Time Traveler red, you think? That's what your wife wanted to paint the study. You push it as hard as you can, and the button begins to budge. Click. All of a sudden, you're surrounded by 1 million clocks with 2 to 3 million hands, and each one is ticking backwards, counterclockwise, faster than a broomstick. Also, there's smoke. Cuckoo, you yell. It worked. You're hurtling through the past. But are you hurtling too far? Without warning, you stop. The clocks disappear. You land on the ground with a heart-shaking smack. Ouch. You feel dizzy. The floor seems to slope in every direction at once. So I guess it's flat? It's probably what flat is. But is it 1997? That's a good point. If it's sloping in every direction, there's no difference from being flat, I guess. Is it 1997? Find out if failure. As the smoke disappears, a loud silence surrounds you. It's so loud, but so silent. You glance around, trying to figure out where you are and when. You see walls made of stone, covered in strange symbols and pictures, and a birthmark shaped like a puppy on your right arm. Wherever you are, it doesn't look like your childhood home. Then you feel a mummy's hand grip your right shoulder. You turn around. It's a mummy! That's not right at all. There was no mummy in our childhood. What's happening here? We gotta scream something on page 25. You decide to scream. This is terrible. You must have pressed the wrong button. Now you're in ancient Egypt, with no way to return to the present, and a mummy is after you? You don't remember what mummies do, and you don't want to find out. You better act now if you don't want to be cursed or whatever. Quick! How will you defend yourself? Chat. What are we going to do against the mummy? Do we punch the mummy with our big man fist? Or do we pull at the mummy's bandages and pray? Man, now we're in ancient Egypt. This day has gone very badly. Nothing's going right. Number 2 is winning. It's probably wise. Like I mentioned before, our character has been terrible at fighting. So maybe it's good that we go for the pulling on the bandages and praying, of course. Kneeling in prayer, you reach for the mummy's dressing. This one is for Nick's face, you scream as you pull down with all your strength. But the bandages don't come loose. They are stuck as if they were glued to the monster. You feel empty and hopeless. You no longer believe in the Son of Man. Tell me about it. The mummy rocks backwards and forwards in front of you. If it falls on you, you'll be crushed. Your life flashes before your eyes. You're 2 years old, and your stomach rumbles at the promise of tasty garbage. Then your axe. Then you're 6? Yes, you're 6. On a dare from the Jelly King, you crawl up into a pile of filthy rags and try not to throw up. Now, it's your 18th birthday. You've been accepted into college, and Tombo the Man Piano is eating your feet. Finally, you let your children kill an old man before stealing his time machine. There's a lesson here, you assume. Then the mummy falls on you. You're crushed. Gasp. It's all... Time is a closed loop. Except the closed loop can be broken through a mummy falling on us. Aside from that, time is a closed loop. All right. We gotta go back. We gotta go back. We have to do this, chat. We have to do it right. But I think that we should probably take another break. Another 10-minute break before we go back. We got to get to the time machine. We know going to the pig dimension didn't work. We went to ancient Egypt. We had the option to punch. I don't know if it worked. We could have tried saving Dr. Backpack. I don't know if that would have worked. Man, we'll think about this and try to get out of this situation in a few minutes. I'll see you in a few. Have good times and snacks. Okay. We have to make it to school. We have to get to the basketball game. We need to score the winning dunk and make Brad proud of us. What does life mean if Brad does not give us his approval? It's like none of you even remember about Brad. It's like you're thinking about vampires, you're thinking about Zoe. Who's thinking about Brad? Get your priorities straight, people. God. Look, we're going to make a vote. We've been hitting the time travel thread pretty hard now. Should we continue doing that? Should we go back to going through Zombie Forest? So let's do that vote again. Number 1 for Zombie Forest and number 2 for time travel. Not sure which one is going to get us to the ending where we're going to make the winning dunk. And I assume that there is an ending like that. There better be anyway. I don't know which one it is. Looks like that the chat does want to switch gears and go back to thread number 1, where we are trying to get through the forest. Okay, so we'll try that for right now. So if you remember what was happening there, we did find the magician. We got the magic sword. It still didn't go so well. I mean, we did get an ending where we lived in the forest with the zombies, but... let's head back and see what we can do. If we can find anything that is going to bring us closer to school and closer to Brad. Oh. Last time we took it when Zoe hit us. We could try not taking it and see what happens. We should probably try that at least. Your face is painted with Zoe's handprint, and you're very upset. You can't hit me, Zoe, you bellow. It's not funny or cool. Zoe dumps her expression. Fine, she says. Find your own dumb ball, you big palooka. I'm out of here. You apologize faster than you can talk, but it's no use. Zoe karate kicks her way through the zombies and she's gone. Oh no. You're never going to make it out on your own. Your grandmother is stronger than you are. You're useless to your grandma and to everyone at school. What are you going to do? Alright, so Zoe just ditches us and then karate kicks her way out. Well... we're on our own. We can call our parents, I guess. You don't have a cell phone. You try yelling, but that's stupid. That is stupid. Let's be less awful. You and your skateboard ride off quietly. A funny zombie chases you down the tunnel until it feels sore, and it doesn't like anything about you. Now you're just wondering if you're weird. You feel bad for you. Do you hate me too? You ask the skateboard glumly. Yes. Well, now we're just feeling bad for ourselves. Let's walk to page 93. You feel a little hungry as you continue down the dark tunnel. You can't help wondering what you're going to eat if you can't find a way out. Bats? You tell yourself that licking bats isn't so bad. It tastes lousy, but it doesn't taste anything like owl. You hate owl. You think it's hopeless when suddenly you see a flash of light in the distance. I think that's the end of the horror, you think hopefully. It is. Or is it? A dragon blocks your way. He dangles you by your feet and announces in a hiss, "You know, too often human reason barely explains the way people's lives really are." Wow, a surprisingly deep beast. Barf pants, you reply. You're an idiot. Alright. The dragon drops us. What happens next? Squoosh. Your eyes land in the pile of gloppy yellow gunk in front of you. Well, at least I can't see anything. You laugh to yourself. The creature gets angry and starts calling you mean names like bathroom boy and worst idiot. Guess he didn't like your joke. It hands you your eyes. I want you to watch me as I eat your face and hands. My face is meat, but my hand is sand. You say gently. Good. The dragon spits back. Yikes! Your only hope is to distract him. You start flashing him sweetly as he begins applauding you. You have weird baby stuff, he exclaims over and over with a grin. You realize this guy is a Great Dane in a vest. I need to find the way out, you think. Well, I'm glad that the dragon approves of our weird baby stuff. Should we play with the dog or run towards a loud rock? You know, I'm kind of wondering if maybe we're dead and we're just hallucinating things as we bleed to death, because I'm not really sure what's happening at this point. I don't think, why did it even take a vote? Of course, the winner is going to be play with dog. How could it not be? I think anyone would much rather play with a dog than a loud rock. It's only reasonable. Let's play with the dog. You rub the doggy on his scalp with your coarse, sandy hands. The animal grins and begins twisting and talking to you about his bowling league. You try to end the talking, but it just keeps going. On and on and on. What if he never stops? You think, beginning to panic. The dog seems to enjoy your nonsense and gives you an unexpected present. A collection of high-end suitcases. Only place I'm headed is school, and probably later prison, you grumble, leaving them behind. The tunnel has ended and you are proud. Zoe can choke on your wrist. On the ground near your foot, you feel a note from your mom. You peer at it with one eye and it reads, "Could you be a dear boy and run to the store? I need liquid refreshment, and they have a thick accent, and I am running out of time. You will obey me always. Love and games, Mom." Ugh, not very cool, Mom. You have a creepy story with tears and excitement. You can't do Mom helping. You swallow the note and put knowledge of its message in the don't think about again part of your brain. Oh yeah, I'm putting stuff in that part of my brain all the time. Now, to step outside. The sun hits your... Oh no, we've done this, right? Yeah, Zoe's the overlord of campers. So this took us to a place that we've been to already. Yeah, we're tiny. Okay, chat. So previously, we looked for the ball in the dark and creepy corpse-stinking jungle. We have not tried going for the clearing. Do you want to go back to the dark and creepy corpse-stinking jungle? I think that was the path that took us to the magician, if I remember right. We have not tried the clearing, so who can say what might be there? Okay, people are saying that we should do the clearing. So let's do that. The three of you start walking over to the clearing. "Hey, look!" Zoe cries. "It's the ball!" You fly across the field as fast as you can, run over to see. She's right. What a relief. You pick up your favorite flavor of sports and place it in your backpack. You're not going anywhere, you think in your mind. "Now, can we go to school?" the skateboard asks. You're all laughing when you reach the exit sign. It's been a long day, but at least you didn't see that many zombies. Then you hear a voice behind you. Excuse me, Dr. Dumpster," a rude man says. You recognize it as the bus driver from earlier in the adventure. Okay, so it's him. It was, "I'm gonna strangle you or something." Uh-oh. Sal, the bus driver, is standing right in front of your eyes. "I'm gonna disappear you, kid," he says menacingly. "Why?" you sputter. "I'm not completely sure." Sal gives you 400 reasons. They're pretty good. The giant torture man approaches, extending his arms to the perfect length for chokes. Zoe and the skateboard stand to the side. "Shouldn't you help me?" you demand. Sal's fingertips brush your neck. This is it, you think. I'm going to die. Then you get an idea. Tell the truth. Did a magician dressed in gold give you a sword? Well, chat, he did in another timeline. Not this one. But if we were going by zero escape rules, that means that it did happen. And we could use that in this timeline. I guess it depends on where you want to, like how you want to think about it. Can we really defeat a man who has 400 good reasons for killing us, though? I'm not sure about that. Looks like that the chat is leaning towards yes. Looks like yes is gonna win. Like I said, it's not really a lie, because it happened. It's just in another timeline, right? And it counts. It should count. So we're going to say yes. You reach into your backpack and dig around blindly. Where is it? Looking for a book you read about the danger of you dying? Sal asks. You both laugh. Finally, you find it. You pull the sword out by its wooden handle As if by magic, the long blade shimmers in the afternoon sun. The bus driver's jaw drops open. "Where did you get that?" Zoe gasps. You stab Sal through the heart by way of an explanation. "Oh," she nods, "from a magician." Sal falls to the floor with a thud, and blood gushes out of his mouth, all over your face, shoulders, and hands. And just like that, the grains of sand at the end of your arms start transforming. Hail to the bus driver! His blood makes hands flesh again. "Now can we go to school?" the skateboard says again. You think that's getting really annoying. All right, we have killed the bus driver. Wonderful. And our sand hands are now no longer sand, they are flesh. The three of you enter school and skate right to the gym. Coach Curly is waiting for you at the door. "There ya are," Coach says, looking at his watch. "Gee whiz, you smell like zombie, magic, frog, and death." "Sorry, Coach, I don't need excuses, kid," he interrupts you. "Did you bring the ball?" You and Zoe grin at each other. If he only knew. You meet Brad out on the basketball field. "You look smaller," he remarks. "You remember you shrunk. But that's good. Like the guy from the Hornets." Brad gives you a high five. "All right." You go on to play the best game of your life. Brad, your tiny cousin, and the chatty skateboard are very impressed. After the game, Brad uses your new friend to do the world's coolest, scariest skateboard run. It never talks again. The end. Oh, chat. Congratulations. We did it. We made it to school. We made it to Brad. We played the best game of our lives. And Brad was very impressed with us. It couldn't have gone any better. We committed murder, but you have to break some eggs to get an omelet. The omelet of winning the basketball game and impressing Brad. And really, using the sword wasn't a lie. Again, we have established from the Zero Escape series that something happening in another timeline does count. You can do that. It happens. So, I think that means that we can say that we have defeated Welcome to Sandhands. You know, the Sandhands really did not play any kind of part in the story. Didn't have anything to do with anything. There are some other options that we could have done. Let's just check out a few things that we didn't see. But I feel good about getting the best ending, obviously. But it's obviously has to be the best ending because we impressed Brad. There couldn't be a better ending than that. What would happen if we went to the Loud Rock? Let's see. You turn and sprint towards the loudest rock you see. "Ow, my ears," cries the doggy as it scuttles off. It worked. You can do walking again. You finally reach there's like a maze on this one. You finally reach the end of the long dark tunnel. Daylight pours down your back. It's definitely a moment. You scan the clearing. We meet a ghost horse that calls us Denny. It wants to drink our sodas. No, we want to drink the horse's sodas. Now this is like actually a quite large path. There's like a subplot about a ghost horse. What would have happened if, on the time travel one, if we had tried to punch the mummy? Oh, what would happen if we refused to be taken in by a nerd scientist demented word talk? We never actually did that. Yeah, we did not believe in the time machine. But our mouth becomes full of slime. We could find a small business to offer cases of the delicious slime. We sell slime out of the garage, and we make a lot of money. And then we get a big desk. And then we get killed by the desk. So that could have been a good ending, but we get killed. But I want to know what happens if we punch the mummy. Okay, punch the mummy with your big man fist. Punch the mummy right in the face. Your hand hurts a little. Clank. It's a robot. Robot mummies. Your hometown used to have an amusement park called Ancient Egypt World. Okay, so we did go to Ancient Egypt. We actually did go back to our own timeline. Okay. So I guess you team up with the young version of you and Zoe. Oh, but that startles yourself so much that you die from a heart attack. The young you. So then you take young you's place, and you're going to go to school with Zoe and help Brad dunk. You make it to school. Okay, so this was a good ending as well. You pretend that you're the young you, but you had a growth spurt. So you play basketball against teens, and you are taller than them. So you are able to catch the ball and pass it to Brad. And then, yeah, it says being a kid is a piece of cake when you're 30. So you know everything at school. You get to stand at the back of photos. Your mom wouldn't dare use the hook. You grow up to be a $100 bill maker and marry your high school sweetheart. She doesn't have vampires. That's a pretty good one as well. I don't think that's as good because you basically are taking like 15 years off of your life because you're 30, but you're pretending to be like in high school. So I think that the ending that we got, where the young version of you makes it to school, is probably the better ending just because it is the actual young you instead of the older you. So that's probably... I think I like the ending we got. I think we got the best ending. Well, I hope that you had a good time with me reading the story. Botnik, give yourself goofbumps. Number 6, welcome to Sandhands. I do enjoy a good choose-your-own-adventure story. Really, it is when you think about video games boiled down to their core, a choose-your-own-adventure game really is where you strip away all the unnecessary stuff, all the unnecessary game mechanics and graphics and music and gameplay systems, and you just get straight down to what matters. Here's a story, here's a choice. Which choice are you going to make? And we can all appreciate that. Really, choose-your-own-adventure books are the perfect video game. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope all of you had a good time with me here tonight reading this. I hope all of you were able to just not think about all of the failures and regrets that you've had throughout the year, and that you probably will have in the coming year. Just getting together with me so we can just put that out of our heads. Just not put that in the compartment of our brains that's labeled as don't think about this. That's what these videos and these streams are, really. It allows you to focus on something right now so you don't have to focus on the important things. And really, that has value in itself. So I hope all of you have a good and happy end of the year. and a good and happy beginning of next year. And of course, happiness is not going to last forever. It's just that, hopefully it lasts. Hopefully you're happy for at least a few minutes. I hope I can make that happen for you. And I'll say goodnight to the people watching afterwards. And I'll probably just talk with the people who are here right now for a little bit. I mean, it's kind of weird to do streams when you're also recording a video, because you're talking to people who are going to be watching it, after the fact. Who knows when they might be watching it, but they're not watching it live. But then there are also people who are here and they're watching it live. I'm trying to talk to both at once, and that doesn't really work. So if you're watching this after the fact, I hope you enjoyed reading the story, and have a good, relaxing end of year.